Michael Jordon, probably the most well-known professional basketball player of all time, well known for his illustrious career and great skill at the sport of basketball. Something else that Michael Jordon is well known for, however, is the huge plethora of endorsements and merchandise deals he has, which is an entire legacy in itself. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and endorsements for sportsmen and women is nothing new. The whole idea is a mutually beneficial arrangement, as the sports star gets a shed load of money, and the brand is able to plaster their products and use the athlete to boost their own image. Some sports stars even make more money from their endorsements and sponsorship deals than they do actually playing the sports themselves. The one that immediately comes to mind is Tiger Woods, with his endorsements and brand deals for companies such as Nike, Bridgestone, Rolex and Monster Energy, amongst others. The numbers are pretty eye-watering, into the hundreds of millions of dollars. And that takes us nicely to Michael Jordan, former basketball player who has not only made a name for himself in the sport, but also through the hundreds of millions of dollars he's made through his endorsements. And it's safe to say he's made an absolute fortune doing this. He's not only garnered this through his career as a basketball player, but even up to this very day as a retired legend of the game. Just to give you an idea as to how successful he's become, in 2010, Forbes ranked Michael Jordan as the 20th most powerful celebrity in the world. In 2004, Michael Jordan became the first NBA player to become a billionaire, now being estimated of upwards of $2.1 billion in April 2020. Yes, billions. The words eye-watering might have been a bit of an understatement at this point. How did we get here? How has Michael Jordan progressed his career to the point where he's making literally billions of dollars from doing this? Well, there are many companies from all different industries that want a slice of this endorsement pie. However, I think we need to start with the company which really started this all and the one that is most closely associated with Michael Jordan, and that is Nike. Back in the early 80s, Converse and Adidas were the footwear brands that dominated the game, and all the big players would gravitate towards these brands wherever possible. Nike, a small fry at the time, would hit it big when they took on the golden opportunity, mainly driven by the fact that Adidas had made a major cock-up and effectively pushed Michael Jordan away from their endorsement. Looking back at this is all very odd because right now Nike is the sports brand, and at the time that just wasn't the case. And to think about even turning down a sponsorship deal for the Michael Jordan, you'd be absolutely out of your mind. But hindsight's a funny thing. In 1984, Michael Jordan signed with the Chicago Bulls and at the time loved Adidas shoes, wanting to get an endorsement from them. However, they were basically on top of the game and they had many athletes on their books at the time, meaning that they didn't want to give out any more offers, and at the same time, Michael Jordan was rejected by Adidas. Sometimes in life you don't get what you want and you just gotta roll with the punches. You just gotta keep working at it and eventually you'll get what you want, in a long-winded way, even if it's not through Adidas. You do have to remember that this is very early in his career, so he doesn't have the same recognition and reputation he does today. So these companies were looking on Michael Jordan with a bit more skepticism than they would do, say, today. So he decided to go to the next best thing, Converse, who were also big in the game, and they offered an endorsement deal to Michael Jordan for $100,000 a year to wear Converse, which at the time was pretty standard as all other NBA basketball players were being paid the same amount to do the same thing. Everything seemed like it was going to move forward as normal, as it had done with every other basketball player they signed up. However, Michael Jordan's dad questioned this in the meeting and thought that it was a rather dull and drab offer, thinking that surely they could do better. And well, they decided to hold off and not sign the deal. Nike at the time was an up-and-comer and they decided to take a gamble, a big gamble, and decided to try and make an offer to Michael Jordan, one which he couldn't refuse. However, the issue for Nike was that MJ wanted absolutely nothing to do with them and didn't even agree to sit down to even discuss an endorsement with them. So they couldn't even get a foot in the door to actually tell him what they wanted to do. He just flat out refused, and Michael Jordan's agent at the time wasn't happy about this. I just wanted Michael to go with Nike because they were the upstarts. I couldn't even get him into the damn place to go visit the Nike campus, so I called his parents. So what we can learn from this is mum and dad are always right, and you should probably listen to them, because if he hadn't, then he probably wouldn't be in the position he is today. So yeah, he went to sit down in a meeting and he was told a pitch that no other NBA basketball player had ever been given before. This was revolutionary for the time. Instead of just paying for a flat rate for wearing Nike sneakers, they gave him a lucrative multi-year deal which would stand to approximately $7 million in the 5-year course of the deal. Something unheard of at the time. With stock options to boot, the sky was the limit. The one thing they had to try and do to win him over on at the time was that MJ simply preferred Adidas shoes and wanted to go with them. And when Nike showed them a design of a shoe they were working on, he said he preferred Adidas's designs. So, thinking smart, they decided to give him an offer and say that he could even design his own brand of shoes, which effectively could be tailored to his liking, and would be much closer to what he would have designed in his shoes, and much closer to perhaps what Adidas would have made in theirs. This really impressed MJ, and when he mulled over the offer, he gave Adidas one last chance to match the offer that Nike had given him. So this is the part of the tale where I have to tell you that Adidas had the golden opportunity to not only secure one of sport's most famous celebrities, but at the same time secure themselves as the footwear brand to go to. But they cocked that up and decided to reject the offer for one main reason, and I bet you'll never guess what the reason is. They rejected the reason because they wanted to work with taller basketball players. Yes, they thought that Michael Jordan was too short to endorse their shoes. Yes, Michael Jordan too short. Bear in mind he's 6'6", so compared to most people, he's pretty damn tall. So, being rebuffed once more by Adidas, Michael Jordan put the pen to paper and signed with Nike in this lucrative deal, which made both him and Nike millions upon millions of dollars. Nike's expectation when we signed the deal was at the end of year 4, they hoped to sell about $3 million worth of Air Jordans. In year 1, we sold 126 million. After the deal was signed, those shoes that were made would soon become the world famous Air Jordans. With this single signing, they'd not only managed to secure themselves arguably the most popular NBA basketball player of all time, but managed to cement themselves as the brand to go to, eventually beating out Converse and Adidas in the near future. And with Michael Jordan's success and him rising as a star in the sport, other brands soon came along to endorse him as well. In 1991, Gatorade signed Michael Jordan off the back of its first championship with the Chicago Bulls, earning him $13.5 million in a 10-year deal. A deal which not only lined the pockets of the NBA legend, but also made Gatorade a household name. Being associated with a star like this is only good for business. Other brands he worked with include Coca-Cola in several commercials, McDonald's, the Upper Deck Card Company, Ultra Hair Products, Chevrolet, General Mills, Wheaties, Hanes, and well, in the 90s he went on a spree of endorsements, earning himself a tidy profit and certainly proving that he is the highest paid athlete of all time. However, it wasn't that he simply took every single opportunity that came his way. He was selective, as at the end of the day, he's a businessman and he has a reputation to uphold. In an interview with Playboy magazine, Michael Jordan said the following: "My time is very important to me, as well as being credible about what I endorse. If I endorse McDonald's, I go to McDonald's. If I endorse Wheaties, I eat Wheaties. If I endorse Gatorade, I drink Gatorade. I have cases of Gatorade. I love drinking Gatorade. I don't endorse anything that I don't actually use." Guys, that was just a quote. This video is not sponsored by Gatorade, that's all I'm gonna say. In the same interview, he was asked if there was any endorsements he turned down, and he said this: "2 or 3 years ago, Quaker Oats came to me to endorse Van Camp's Pork and Beans, Beanie Weenies, I think it was called. You ever heard of Beanie Weenies Pork and Beans? It was close to $1 million a year. I'm saying Beanie Weenies. How can I stand in front of a camera and say I'll eat Beanie Weenies? If I wanted to be a hard-nosed businessman, I could have been in a lot of deals, like the one with Johnson Products. I had a deal with them for their hair care products. I had 2 or 3 more years on that deal when I started losing my hair, so I forfeited the deal. But if I'd wanted to be greedy, I could have said, screw you. You didn't know my hair was falling out, so you owe me money. But I didn't." I mean, promoting hair care products when you're bald kind of stands against reason, so I kind of don't blame him there. So, what have we learnt? From Nike to Beanie Weenies, brands can get a lot out of endorsing a well-respected and highly skilled athlete, and if you're that well-respected and highly skilled athlete, you can make a shitload of money in the meantime. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas for what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. Right, here's a message for all you sponsorship brands out there. Reach out on the Brain Spill email. You might not be able to endorse Michael Jordon, but I'll happily sell out for some beans any day. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.